Hey everybody, it's Tim's Final Confessions. I'm Tim Durling, and I'm welcoming back Mr. Chris Preston from My Rock and Roll Heaven. Hey Chris, it's
Hello, Tim.
been like whole seconds since we last spoke. This is a follow-up episode to the one that we did about our original '90s vinyl singles, because you just don't see them very often. Um, and if you do, like as if anybody watched that episode, there's a few artists that, and it's artists that you tend to collect that you see a lot of the same ones, and as the other ones start to fall away, there's like one or two that kind of make it all the way through the decade. Not quite like that with the albums; it's a little bit more varied. But I don't know about you, Chris, but my original '90s vinyl albums, I don't have anything past 1995.
Yeah, I think it's 96 is my last one. There's stuff out there for sure, but just in terms of sheer cost and
Yeah.
accessibility, etc., mine stop in that mid 90s time frame too. Got tons of reissues, of course,
Yeah,
from
same
that
here. Yeah. I
time.
just thought it would be fun to see what we've got for vinyl that came out in its
Exactly.
time. Obviously, much like the singles, you're going to see a lot from 1990 because most albums were still made in this form. It's just I'm trying to think. I mean, my local Sam the Record Man, I don't remember seeing new albums on vinyl. They didn't have a lot of
No,
room. It was a small store, so it was basically cassettes and CDs. And wasn't too long after that, all the vinyl was like marked down for half price, which I made some scores then. But
of
yeah, it
course.
was it was a dying it was a dying format. So we're gonna start with Chris and everything that you've got for vinyl albums, original vinyl from 1990. Let's see it.
And we've got a few. Let's roll. So just as a little bit of background, I stopped buying like records, proper vinyl records, probably in 87, 88, because I was into cassettes, portability, right? And then CDs came out and it was like, oh, the quality's so much better.
Yeah.
So, and to your point about seeing them in stores, like A&A Records, Sam the Record Man, Records on Wheels, where I shopped, by 1990, I don't recall seeing any vinyl. And if you did, it was in a delete bin.
Mm,
So
yeah.
hard to come by, right? So let's kick it off with a release in 1990 from a fantastic classic rock band. And this era does not get enough love.
Oh
This is
yeah, that's cool.
the Brian Howe era of Bad Company, and this is Holy Water from 1990. He is one of the most underrated lead vocalists in
Yeah.
rock, in my opinion.
Sad,
Was
sadly,
rest in
sadly,
peace. Yeah,
no longer with us.
sadly no longer with us, but they'd had a run of albums with him. The title track is a killer rocker, and the ballad on here was a big hit. If you
Yeah.
needed somebody, was a big hit for them. This vinyl as well. This is a French copy
Yeah. On Atco. Yeah.
on Acro. The interesting thing is, a few records around this time had quite a few songs. This has 13 tracks on it
Yeah.
for a vinyl record. That's pushing the
Pushing
boundaries
the
of
limits. Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you can get on this format.
Yeah. Of course, the famous example being Hysteria, which is like
Exactly.
63 minutes long. Dawkins Back for the Attack is a long record
Yep.
too. It's got 13 songs on it. And you'll notice if you listen to those on vinyl, hardly any space between tracks.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a few of the Brian Howe era albums, which don't hate me out there, rock fans.
Oh,
I love
sa-
Paul Rogers, but I
yeah.
prefer this just because it was more when I discovered the band,
Same
right?
here.
In that
Same
late
here.
80s.
Same here.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really like Dangerous Age and Holy Water, and yeah,
Here Comes Trouble.
yeah, good stuff.
Excellent. Okay. Next up is this is one of my favorite albums of the early 90s.
Oh, I got a story about. Anyway, go ahead.
Supergroup Damn Yankees
Yeah,
with, Ted Nugent, Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, and Michael Cardilleone, I think his name was, the drummer.
yeah,
This is their debut.
yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a little story about this. If you can see, there's a great vendor here in Toronto that I deal with all the time, and he goes to record shows. But look at the price of this.
$40.
$40 near mint.
Yeah.
I bought this just before the pandemic
Okay.
at a record show. And I can tell you, this is how much prices have changed. This album, if you were to find it now, would be more than double that, an original
Oh,
copy.
I'm kicking
That's
myself, Chris. Oh,
right.
yeah,
And this one doesn't have an inner sleeve because it has all of the credits and stuff on the
yeah,
outer sleeve, which they did a fair bit
yeah.
back in that era. And of course, the
The Warner Brothers.
label
Yeah,
there. But this is a little bit of a different looking cover from the CD and the
yeah,
cassette.
yeah. So I remember the cassette and the CD have the band photo.
Yeah,
And I want to say, without getting up and getting the CD and the cassette, I want to say that if you put the CD and the cassette together, the band photo is reversed.
yeah,
But if you got the long box to the CD, it had the eagle on it.
right.
But 2013, I was at Spin in Moncton, one of my favorite stores. Now, at this time, my vinyl was buried in my closet, and I hadn't started my channel yet, and I was not looking for vinyl like I would very shortly be once again. They had Canadian Columbia House copy of the Damn Yankees
Oh,
debut for $10, and I didn't
oh my
buy
gosh.
it. That's one of my biggest vinyl regrets because it's like, you
Yeah, because that would be a
idiot.
hard to find,
You won't find
hard
it
to
now.
find.
Like even if you try to get a reissue, it's going to be expensive. So, yeah, boy,
Yeah.
I really fluffed that one bad.
And Canadian Columbia House, yeah, because this is a German copy, but
Yeah.
Canadian on Columbia House. Whew.
I've got one, or no, I've got two on Canadian Columbia House to show you, but that's not one of
Okay.
them.
Okay. Excellent. We'll continue along in the same vein in terms of genre. And I played, this is one of my favorite albums of 1990 across all genres.
Oh yeah.
And that Extreme's second album, Porno Graffiti. This is obviously a European copy as well. Oh, no, sorry. This is an American copy. This is a
I was
US
going to say
copy.
that, yeah, there are US copies of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Type
with
sticker.
the hype sticker on it
Yeah.
and guys
Yeah.
on the back. This was a huge album for me. It
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
A&M logo on the labels, but this was a bigger album, I think, in Canada than it was in the US for
Did
the
very
band.
well. Yeah, it did very well in Canada.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the
And of
follow-up.
course, so did the follow-up. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bigger in Canada. I saw them touring with Brian Adams in 1992.
Yeah.
And they're one of the best live bands you'll see.
I've never
Their
gotten to see
their
them, but I'm a big fan.
their talent is off the charts.
Yeah.
So huge album for me. Next up is a Canadian band that I love, still do. Didn't put out. I don't. This is their last. Oh, maybe there was one more. Last Tiger,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
the Simple Mission album. So this is actually, this might give a little hint into, this was a big band in Canada in this,
Huge.
right, the
Yeah.
late 80s. And this is a Canadian Columbia House copy,
Yeah.
and it's sealed.
Cool.
So I have not opened it. And they went, you can see they're a four-piece here. Original drummer had left by that point, Michael Hansen. This is produced by Tom Werman of Crew Poison fame and
Yeah.
is a bit more guitar focused.
Yeah. Animal
Lead
Heart. When I
single
first heard
Animal
that, I'm
Heart.
like, that's different.
That's
Yeah.
Glass Tiger. Where'd those
Yeah.
guitars come from?
Yeah. That didn't come out in
So
the States either. I mean, it came out in Canada on
no,
Capitol. It did not come out in the States, and the first two albums did.
exactly, exactly. And we've talked about this one up next.
Yeah.
Tim showed a single. So this is
Yeah.
Heart's Brigade.
Yeah.
Big album for this band. I like the sleeve.
Yeah.
Huge hits on here.
Yeah.
And
I love
this
Stranded
one,
as far as the singles off this one. That's probably my favorite.
Branded is excellent. This is a European copy as well. It's got a really nice kind of cardboard inner
Yeah.
sleeve with all the lyrics and band photos. And the interesting thing is this one too has a little bit of a different label. This has the more of the old school
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Capitol Records label,
Yeah.
which I always liked.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. The purple. Yeah. You know, of the three albums, like the self-titled Bad Animals and Brigade, I think Brigade's the best one from start to finish.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be said for that. They moved away from Ron Nevison to Richie
Yeah.
Zito on this
Richie's
one. I think he gave him a little bit more of a, I don't know, a rock feel than
yeah.
keyboards and
Yeah.
Slick
Yes,
and polished, right?
not quite as yeah, right. Yeah.
Continuing along with 1990. Obviously, there's quite a few in here from 1990. I had a single from this that I showed in our prior episodes. This is
Cool.
Billy Idol's Charmed Life.
Yeah.
Still in the original cellophane, but it is open. This copy is actually from South Africa,
Okay.
which is really interesting. I like this album. Steve Stevens gone. Mark Younger Smith was the guitarist. Really cool shot of Billy on the inner sleeve with all the
Yeah.
lyrics and credits. But this album did really well. Cradle of Love is one of his biggest hits.
It was, yeah, top five. Yeah. And this was
Top
post
five.
his bad motorcycle accident, right?
Exactly. So in the
Yeah.
video for that song, he's not
You don't,
shown from the waist down.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's got that familiar Billy Idol
Yeah.
logo.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's one that I was really happy to find. Continuing in 1990, and we're going with some more CanCon. I really loved this artist, Paul
Oh yeah.
Jans,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
may not be familiar to any of our international viewers, but he had some big success in Canada. He was touted like in the mid 80s, late 80s as kind of like the next big thing
Yeah.
in terms of, Canadian solo male artists. This is Renegade Romantic. You can see the hype sticker there. This is an album that I can listen to start to finish, and I enjoy the whole thing. And he had some big hits from this and some big videos that were on Much Music, Rocket to My Heart.
Yeah.
Every Little Tear was a big
I
one.
still hear Every Little Tear on the radio up here a lot.
Yeah, it's played on
Yeah.
like your booms and all that quite a
Yeah.
bit. And this is the sleeve. A&M Records back in the day would include this as the inner sleeve
Yeah.
with the coating, plastic coating on the inside, and how to care for your records. And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
A&M
Yeah. I've got
A&M appreciates you
yeah.
caring for your
Yeah.
records.
I got Nazareth and Y&T records that have that sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. That's a favorite album of mine from that era. Next up, huge
Oh yeah.
rock star, Mr. Robert Plant, Manic Nirvana, which was his follow up to Now and Zen, which was a massive album for him. I really like this album. I think Hurting Kind, Got My Eyes on You, is like one of his best songs. That's the inner sleeve there with the familiar
Yeah.
Robert Plant and a logo.
That album did
Um,
not sell as well as Now and Zen. I remember it. It was a
no,
king of the cutouts for a long time.
it was. It
Yeah.
was. And this is a Columbia House copy, actually, Canadian
Yeah.
Columbia House copy. So they were still issuing. You could still sign up for your 12 records for a penny and get records.
Like literally records. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally records.
Yeah.
What I think is continuing in 1990. What I think, excuse me, is their best album, start to finish, in
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of quality. Poison's Flesh and Blood. Um, Unskinny Bop, of course, is on here,
Yeah.
which was a huge hit. But
Yeah.
the songwriting and quality of songwriting and depth of quality is, I think, top notch.
It's got
And
some
from
of their
start to
best
finish,
album tracks on it, like
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Let It Play and Valley of Lost Souls, and this is the one, of course, that Bruce Fairbairn produced. Although it really doesn't sound like a Bruce Fairbairn production to
No, it
me.
does not. It does not. And this is another one that I bought pre-COVID from the same vendor. Look at the price. 30
Wow.
bucks.
Well, I'll tell you, I
30
had my
bucks.
just as we're filming this, just yesterday, I was at the Record Expo in Riverview, and I had my eye seriously considering buying a reissue of that for 40. But unfortunately, I'd spent what I was going to spend. But
Yeah,
some,
you hit your limit.
yeah, yeah.
And one last one from 1990. I love this album, and I don't think it gets enough recognition as one of their
Yeah, I got a
best.
reissue of that, but it's good. They just didn't do a bad album.
They didn't. They really
There
didn't.
are
And
no
this is
bad Rat
Detonator.
albums. Yeah,
There are no bad Rat albums. And Detonator was well, this was their last album with the original lineup, of course,
yeah,
and contains a couple of my favorite songs. Like I still to this day, Shame, 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 that intro,
yeah.
and Warren going into his. Look at that though.
That's okay. That's different.
Weird, eh? So what happened was when I bought this, I was told. So there's side two. The side
Yeah,
one label was, and this is a production error. It's
Yeah.
actually, that's how the label was put on. It's all ripped, and
Wow.
when you run your hand over it, you can't even feel it. But it was a misprint or a mislabel at the factory. Wild,
So
eh?
they're all like that? Like all of that
That I'm
batch?
not sure. I need to check that out because this particular copy obviously is, but I don't know how many
Now
actually.
now does that affect the playability? Like can you play the last song on that side without
You can. It just barely, you can see there's more run out on
Oh,
here
okay,
and
so
it's
it
less here,
it
but
just it just goes into the dead wax a little bit.
yeah, exactly. It
Oh,
goes into the dead wax. And this is a copy from France actually.
yeah.
So again, we were still issuing big albums from big bands on vinyl in Europe, and this is
Yeah.
one of them. Classic.
Yeah.
That's 1990. So quite a few from 1990.
This is cool because I got a few different ones and I've got some the same, but they're different versions. So the first one is kind of surprising. You don't see it on vinyl very much. John Bon Jovi,
Oh,
Blaze of Glory, the Young Guns 2 soundtrack. So technically it was his first solo album. This is actually a Canadian pressing on Mercury. But of course, I mean, obviously, it's not a Bon Jovi album, but it was still, a big act. And, Blaze of
well,
Glory was the
yeah,
number one song, won the Academy Award and all that. So says picture of John, and then
yeah,
everything that was in the cassette, the CD, and it's got the familiar red Mercury
Mercury.
label on it. The
That
next
goes
one's
to show you that the label, then you knew that that was a big, big, big release with a
yeah,
big name, big push behind it.
yeah. Now this next one's really funny, really funny. It's been like the butt of jokes for years now. Um, Saw this at a record expo probably 7, 8 years ago. I picked it up, I put it down, I went and looked at other stuff. I came back, I picked it up, I put it down. There was something about it that I'm just like, do I buy this or not?
I do that all the time.
In the end, I ended up buying it. I think I paid $40 for it. And I don't regret it because it's given me much amusement.
Mhm.
And if at first glance you'd be like, well, what's anyway. So it is extreme pornography. Now, the first thing you might notice, I don't know if you can tell this on camera, but it's quite faded. Maybe Chris will get his copy out now. His might be a
Yeah, that's
little
what I
bit
was
more glossier and like the individual color. Oh yeah, the individual colors pop out a lot more than they do on here. But and then if you turn that around, everything's in black and white. So
Oh,
I looked at it and I'm like, well, it appears to be a US copy, even though there's something about it. I guess again, something about it just kept eating at me. Like something's not quite right. And then I felt this part here.
yeah.
This hype sticker this is not a sticker. This is
Oh,
part of the sleeve.
oh my.
This looks to me like it was Xeroxed
Yep.
onto two pieces of cardboard. The middle of this is practically not legible. It's very, very thin. Like it has the title there, but you can barely read it. Uh, so
That's exactly what it is.
yeah. So but the record itself is legitimate. It's a legitimate A&M piece of vinyl.
But with that
So
other A&M logo, yeah.
yeah, so this is a UK vinyl of porno graffiti. So then I sent away for another one that did not have a cover, and it came in this old A&M sleeve because it's advertising Cat Stevens, the Carpenters, Rick Wakeman, and Billy Preston, and Joan Baez, and Billy Preston. This one's from Holland, and it's got the old A&M,
Yeah,
which is probably what they
same
would
as
have,
mine.
yeah, that's what they would have been using in North America for any albums that did come out.
Right.
So very strange. I'm so I like it because I'm amused by it,
Yeah,
but it's really weird.
that's different. I love it.
Yeah. So this next one, you've shown off. It is Heart Brigade. This is a U.S. copy on Capitol, but it is an RCA music service version, I think.
Yep.
No, it's Columbia House. Sorry, manufactured by Columbia House. Everything else is the same on the record itself. looks like yours does with the purple capital. Um, this next record did come out in Canada. It's a really weird looking version of it, and I've never seen one for sale. So I ended up getting a UK copy on a label called GWR Records. It's maybe my favorite album by this band. Helix Back for Another
Oh, that's
Taste.
I am 100% with you. I met Brian Vollmer a few years ago, and I had
Yeah,
a nice chat with him and told him that this is my favorite Helix album, and that The Storm, I think, is one of their best tracks ever, and
yeah,
they need to play it live more.
yeah. It might be one of those cases where it's hard to pull off. I don't know. But so this is a GWR, which is distributed by Roadrunner Records, which is usually a heavier like metal
Yeah, European
label.
label. Yeah.
I think Motorhead was on that label at one time. But what's really weird about this is the last they add a song. The last song on side one is Wild in the Streets,
Oh,
which doesn't make any sense because for one thing,
that's
that
really
came
weird.
out on vinyl. It came out in '87 on Capitol, and it doesn't sound anything like the tracks on Back for Another Taste. The production's totally different.
No.
It's got the Mike Stone,
Yeah.
Neil Curran production, but I don't know. But and it actually has that on here, includes bonus track Wild in the Streets. I don't know why they felt the need to do that, but the version that you get in Canada, it's got the album is really small in the center of it. And it's got this gray background, and it's like a few albums by Capital artists because you can also find the first
Oh, right.
Alias album that looks like this. I've never seen one for sale, and the record itself doesn't look anything like, you know. So that's what it looks like. Actually, I'm saying Road Runner. It's Road Racer. I think they're similar labels, but I'm not really sure. But I love this album, so I definitely wanted to have it.
Oh,
It's some
it's a great one.
on vinyl. Okay, the next one. The next one is talked about this band before because I have a picture sleeve from this album. In Excess and X. This is a Canadian Columbia House version on Atlantic, and this one's actually because Kick was such a big album, they actually went
Oh,
out
see,
and did a gatefold version.
I love X too.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
So
I
then,
wonder, do you know, Tim, when Columbia House, because Columbia House continued for years and years, but I
right.
wonder when they stopped doing records, and it was complete.
I'm gonna say 1991.
91.
Now it's funny because I joined Columbia House in '93. By the time I joined, it was all cassettes and CDs.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say 91, and you'll see why I say that here eventually. So here's the
Okay.
sleeve and the credits and the lyrics, and it's a personalized. No, it's not. I'm wrong. I thought this would have been a personalized label, but it's just the red green. Now maybe the retail versions had a because I've seen ones that just had the white background with a
Yeah.
big red X.
Yeah.
But and another one which I was really surprised to see, and I'm pretty sure this only would have existed in Canada. In fact, I'd bet on it. Um, because unfortunately, this is an artist that was really only big in Canada. But I was really surprised to find this in the wild about 8 or 9 years ago. Kim
Oh,
Mitchell,
wow.
I
Yeah.
Am a Wild Party. This is a mostly live. The title song was a studio track, was a hit for him, and it had that cool video
It
where
was.
they Much Music
Yeah.
asked people to submit their party videos, and they used part of it in the video. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is an 8 song album on Alert Records, and I don't think this came out anywhere else. And so there's the credits, and it's just a plain white sleeve, and the record itself just has the familiar. Alert was a fairly well-known Canadian
Canadian
independent
label.
label, and it's funny. I know we've talked about this before. There were a lot of smaller Canadian labels that all started with A because it was Alert,
Attic.
Attic, Aquarius, Anthem. Like they were all fairly successful. They all had at least one artist that was really big on
Yeah.
them. Now, the next one, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because it's um, it's not a record per se, but it kind of is. It's definitely not a CD or cassette. And well, let me just get to the point here. I spent a fair bit on this, but a band that I've this year I've talked quite a lot about. This is Night Ranger. Now, this says it's called Japan in Motion. So, this is a
Interesting.
concert from the Man in Motion tour in 1988 in Japan, where they were
Yeah.
still big because Man in Motion is a great album, did not do well in North America. Um, and this is not an album, it's actually a laser disc.
Ah,
So, what MCA did with this, because this actually came out in Japan on Warner Pioneer. This was sort of like a corner Obi strip that was on the whole thing.
yeah,
But what
that's a great one.
MCA did with this is they just took the audio and put it out on cassette and CD as live in Japan. Because I remember I had only just really gotten into Night Ranger and I saw that cassette and I was like, that's weird because by this time, Damn Yankees were going, right?
Yeah,
There was no Night Ranger. And I'm like, so I looked at it, I'm like, well, I got to buy it. It was years before I realized where that actually came from. So
that is a really cool.
maybe I'm kind of bending things, but that's the closest you're going to get to and it's the same show. It's just that it's
Yeah,
got the visual too, and I don't have anything to play it on, obviously.
and there
Not
you
that
just ventured into another long lost
I
format that never
know,
took
I
off.
know. Next thing will be reel to reel. I know it. But anyway, next up is a release that I talked about in way too much detail on our singles episode. Toto, Past to Present, 1977 to 1990. Now this version is from Europe, but this actually did come out in the US. I don't know, but it did in Canada. It might have come out like Columbia House in Canada, but you
Right.
can get domestic versions of it. But honestly, it was cheaper to get uh, a UK version, and the label just looks like this is just CBS on it, like that. And I've got two more to talk about. Y'all know where I'm going with this, probably. Uh, Not only one of my favorite bands, but my favorite album by this band, and the point where I got into them. Y&T 10.
I
Um,
had a feeling you might have this one.
so this is a German copy on Geffen Records, and it's got a little sticker on the back that says PR copy. So it's very recognizable. It's got the same photo. It's got the same orange look that was on the CD and the cassette. Now, the cassette has this photo on it.
Yeah,
The the CD long box had this photo on it, but the inside of the CD, which in Canada is all you got because we didn't have long boxes, or at least by the time I found this, has this photo.
oh
So
right.
yeah. So anyway, so it's got that photo of the band, and what's interesting though, like it's on Geffen, but the record itself is DGC, which was a sort of
Yeah,
another
David
imprint
Geffen
that they
Company.
used, and it was a lot of the alternative bands like Nirvana was on this label. So it's
That's right.
weird that here's a Y&T record. Now you can get there is a US Columbia House version of 10, but it's got black down the sides and it's just got that the cover photo, like a really small version of it. I don't have that
Right.
one. That's super expensive. If you want to know more about that, check out my friend Brian Foster's page, Y&T Vinyl and Friends. And one more that I don't think came out on vinyl in North America, but after I got into this band, their former label, A&M, put this out. Best of 81 to 85.
Oh,
And
I've not seen that.
this is let me see. I think this is a UK, it's got to be a UK version or at least German. And this is a long album too, 'cause it's got 16 songs on it. And that's it. Now this is interesting. Down at the corner of this, it's all just white except down the very corner it says 990 as in September 90, which I think is
Yep,
when this came out. And the label itself is very familiar to those that know what A&M labels look like.
there it is.
So that was a lot. That's all that's my 1990 original vinyl.
Yeah, like we said, there was still a fair amount of material being released on this format at that time frame, and as we head into '91, there was still a decent amount as well. So I've got a few from 1991, including. Oh, let's make sure I'm going front to back here. Talked about it before on our singles episode, singles Brian Adams.
Oh yeah. See,
Waking up the
I
neighbors.
gotta have that on vinyl. I don't have it.
I was lucky enough to find this, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
sealed. Now I've
What?
opened it because I was like, I got to play this, but it was sealed, and I debated about opening it. But it's this album had, again, this is another one that had like a ton of songs, right?
Yeah.
And
15
so it
songs,
is,
right?
yeah. So it's got two records, so there's
Yeah.
four sides, because it's a big album, and I love the labels.
Yeah.
Got his waking up the neighbors with they did a TV commercial for Coke when he launched his tour. I saw
Yeah.
him on this tour. It was
Awesome.
stellar. And I love this record. A lot of discussion amongst music fans that, is this essentially a Def Leppard album with Mutt Lang producing, writing? You hear his voice on it, all
Well,
the rest of it.
it's weird because I remember reading in early 1990 in a Music Express magazine, which was a Canadian magazine that A&A Records gave out for free at the counter if you bought
Yeah.
anything. And it talked about him working with Mutt Lang because he had been out of the scene for a long, 3 years was a long time then, right? And Into the Fire underperformed, even though it was a platinum record. They said he was working with Mutt Lang, and I'm like, what's that going to sound like? Well, we found out who knew, right? Who knew?
And there's a very good interview on YouTube. You can find it with Joe Elliott talking specifically about Brian Adams and this kind of era
Yeah.
where sounds kind of
Yeah,
melded.
because he got the jump on Def Leppard because this
Yeah,
came out a few months before Adrenalize came out.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that's one of my favorites. One
Yeah.
of my favorite artists of all time. I see her every time she's around.
Oh,
Good
I
friend,
know.
good friend
Yeah.
as well.
I didn't know that came out on vinyl. Wow.
It did. It came out in vinyl in Europe. So this is Some Girls Do, which was her follow-up to her most successful album, Body Rock. It's got a hype sticker, so you can see this was issued. It's still got the price tag on it, actually. 1995. This is a Attic German copy, but the tour dates, this was tied into promoting her European Some Girls Do tour. So there's some German dates, some UK dates that were on there in the fall. It's a great album, continuing along the lines of Body Rock in that vein. And Sleeves, this was nominated, I believe, for a Juno for Rock Album of the Year. That's got the traditional Attic label on it.
Yeah.
She still plays two or three songs from this record in her set list today. So it's one of my favorites. Up next is a band that Tim, I know, is a big fan of. And this album was their first without Lou Graham on
Aha.
vocal.
Yeah.
Foreigner's Unusual Heat. Johnny Edwards was
Yeah.
the new lead singer. And this did not perform well commercially at
This was
all.
King of the Delete Bins.
This was King of the Delete
Like
Bins.
for a
I
for a
really like some of the material on here. Like I think Low Down and Dirty, the first single, was fantastic. This is a German copy that I've managed to pick up. It's in great shape. I'm just curious. Yeah, so I really like the label on the. It's got the Foreigner,
Okay.
that
Interesting.
new logo that they used for the front cover, but
Yeah.
a different. You could tell from inside information that the band was fracturing. The keyboard kind of heavy stuff on that album, and Mick, I know that Lou wasn't happy, so this one's got a little bit more guitar
It's
feel
very
to it.
guitar oriented. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So really happy to find that one. That's a great album, even though Johnny only lasted for one. Lita Ford,
Okay. Yeah.
Dangerous Curves. I think this is her best album from top to bottom, her deepest album. Even I love the self-titled Lita album, but this to me is her best, her most polished. Jim Valance from Mr. Brian Adams
Yeah.
fame, co-writer, did a few songs on this one, and I really like the labels on this.
Oh yeah, she was on RCA. That's right.
He
Yeah.
was on RCA Dreamland, and this I am still to this day I am pissed off at RCA at the time, who had a new label chief, and they essentially abandoned anything of this genre.
Yeah. I mean,
It got no
unfortunately,
promo.
that wasn't unique, but
No,
yeah.
it was not. No, it was not. So that album, I think, should have been bigger. If you read her autobiography, which is really good, she thinks it's her best as well. Shot of Poison is fantastic. Playing with Fire is fantastic. Continuing in 1991, we've got one of my favorite hard rock bands of all time, the Scorpions' Crazy World.
I thought that came out
And
in 1990, but I'm not much of a Scorpions expert.
oh, is it? Oh, you might be right. Oh, you're right, Tim. You caught me. So we're going back to 1990 on this one. Yeah. So
Now, to be
anyway,
fair, I think it had its biggest impact in 1991.
there you go. Maybe that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
because, as we all know, "Wind of Change" was a huge single. But
Uh,
so
the
we
the
jumped back to 1990.
the funniest thing about when that song always makes me think of a quote I read about from Alice Cooper when Alice and the Scorpions toured together in 19 I think 96 97, and he said yeah I've known them for years. He said I said I've always wanted to tour with them. I said just as long as they don't play that song with the whistling in it. Every time they play that, I want to build. I said I want to build the Berlin Wall back up again. Which of course he was joking, typical Alice, right? But anyway,
Exactly. That was the first time that I saw the Scorpions live, was on that tour, and they kicked serious butt. But
who
yeah.
would have opened for them?
So on that tour, it was Great White and Trickster.
Okay, I say that because I know that on some parts of that tour it was Great White and Aldo Nova, which
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I saw them in Ottawa, and it was Trickster and Great White.
okay, hmm,
But
interesting.
great album. That's it from 1991.
So let me see. I only have let's see here. What? Okay, I've only got five to talk about. The first of which you've already shown, but again, what's cool about this is that we have different versions. This was a total shock because I never expect to see stuff like this out in the wild. This would have been 7, 8 years ago. There's a road trip episode that shows when I found this. I was shocked. You just discussed it,
Uh,
Foreigner's
uh,
Unusual Heat album. This is a Canadian Columbia House
what?
version.
Get out.
I found this in Bedford, Nova Scotia. I could not believe it. I think I paid 7.99 for it because this was not a successful album. It's like, what?
No,
So I was surprised to find it, and I was even more surprised to find out it was a Canadian Columbia House version. Just real quick, a few weeks ago, a radio station I listened to had a foreigner, I don't know what they called it, a foreigner weekend. They just played a lot of Foreigner, and they played a lot of songs you didn't normally hear. And I heard Low Down and Dirty, and it was the first time I'd heard it in a while because I haven't listened to this album for a while. Now, this
mm,
album was produced by Terry Thomas and Mick Jones. Now, Terry Thomas produced
fame.
those Dangerous Age, Holy Water, and Here Comes
That's right.
Trouble for Bad Company, co-wrote most of the songs with Brian Howe. And I swear you could easily confuse Low Down and Dirty as being from Holy Water. It sounds
Mm,
just like now I like
you're
that
right.
sound, but
You're
man,
right.
oh man, could that have been off of that album? Like with very little change. Johnny Edwards was a good singer. He didn't sound like Lou per se.
No,
I don't think he did as good a job in Foreigner as Kelly did because Kelly Hansen just knocked it out of the
agreed.
park with Foreigner. He was a
Agreed.
great replacement for Lou. But um I only have one other album that Johnny Edwards was on, and I don't have it on. I only got it on cassette because it's hard. It's expensive. It's the album Mean by Montrose that came out in 1987 on Enigma
Oh, I
Records.
don't even know that one.
I've heard a
Wow.
couple of songs off it. I mean, it was on Enigma. It wasn't a big album, uh, and the rest of the guys on that are like James Kodak and trying to think who played bass on that album. I can't remember, but James Kodak, of course, went on to
Yeah.
Kingdom Come, Warrant, Scorpions.
Scorpion.
But yeah, anyway, this is a decent album, but mostly I was surprised to find it at all. And the label is the
Different
old
from, yeah.
red and green Atlantic logo. So that was a weird one. This
Must
next
have be a
one,
Columbia House thing.
yeah, they must have just kept the regular whatever the label was. The next one is I've laughed about this many times. It's not like the extreme one. This is more like your Rat Detonator story.
Ah,
This is one of my all-time favorite Canadian bands, and I love this album. And like Glass Tiger, Simple Mission, this did not get a US release, even though they stayed on the major label for one more album in Canada. And I'm talking about Honeymoon Suite, Monsters Under the Bed.
Tim, I have been looking for a copy of this for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah. Now, for some reason, it did come out in Germany, which is where this
Oh,
is from. I don't know if it even came out in Canada. This one and the first Harem
I
Scarum
don't think
album.
so.
The first Harem Scarum album is ridiculously expensive, which is why I've got the reissue and I'm fine with that. But yeah, this is a very, very thin sleeve. You can barely see where the band name and the album title and the serial number is written.
And I
But
found that to be a thing from European
yeah,
releases of that era. The sleeves got thin.
yeah. But a great album.
Oh, great.
And so you've got that on the sleeve, and then they're kind of down to a three-piece. They didn't have the rhythm section at
Yep.
this point. Although this was the one where Ray Coburn came back. But what's really odd about this one, and I knew this when I bought it. This was not an unpleasant surprise, but I bought it anyway because it was relatively cheap. To be quite honest with you, I very rarely play my vinyl, and I just for the novelty of it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So it's got
Mm.
Wea.
Yep.
So it's pretty typical looking, right? Check out side two.
Whoa, whoops.
You talk about a manufacturing error. They stamped or they attached the side two
Oh,
label,
no.
so you can only listen to the first song on side two. So the side two is practically unplayable, but I'm like, that is hilarious. I'm buying it.
That is wild. You
That
know what? That's a great piece to have as
It's
an
a talking
anomaly.
point, right? It's like because you're just totally not expecting it. It's the thing that
No.
these like assembly lines are not supposed to do.
Where was quality control?
Yeah. But what? And again, like the
That
rat one, it's like how many did that happen to,
how
right?
many snuck by?
Yeah, before
And
somebody
that
said,
that
"Whoa,"
album, that album, they still use "Say You Don't Know Me" as an
as an
opener.
opener. What a great song. Oh, yeah, Little Sister's a great song. It's just good. Just really good.
That's my mission is to find a copy of that. So
So I've got three more from '91. The next one I'm going to talk about is actually my favorite album from this band, Van Halen, For Love of Carnal
oh my.
Knowledge. Yeah,
I That is a grail for me.
yeah,
I have the reissue.
yeah.
Wow, nice.
This is a European copy on Warner Brothers. I've always loved the whole
Oh,
look
it's
to it, the
great.
silver.
It's great.
But I have yet to see a European copy of this that does not have the hype sticker on it
Yeah,
that says featuring the single pound cake. And you can't take it off as I don't want to ruin it, but they all
yeah,
seem to have this.
you're
The
right.
rest of it's very familiar if you've got the CD or the cassette. It's got the in studio. I love this shot of them all screaming into the microphone. Um, and the label just looks like your typical Warner Brothers label. Now there are uh, at least US versions of this from the time. It's
There
just
are,
that they're
and
they're
they're
yeah. So
expensive.
the European one was the more cost-effective one for me. Um,
Exactly.
Next up is one I have in its original form and also the reissue that came out a couple of years ago because it's the band that it is, and I need everything they do, pretty much. Y&T, Yesterday and Today Live. This was the
That's
live
a great
album they recorded at
sound.
the end of 1990 on what was supposedly their farewell tour, and they did go on hiatus for about 4 or 5 years. This is a UK version, which I didn't know for years this came out on vinyl at all. This is a UK version. It's on Metal Blade, but it's distributed by Music for Nations, which is a big UK independent label. I love the packaging of this album with all of the pictures of the backstage passes
Oh, that's
and it
cool.
yeah, and it's a great concert. It's a great performance. I mean, so that this was, Dave Meniketti, Phil Cannemore, Steph Burns, and Jimmy DeGrasso. It wasn't the original four, but I compare this. This is like Kiss with Eric Singer and Bruce Kulick. They could play anything. Like it was probably the most
Exactly.
musically adept lineup of this band, even though they've always had good musicians. I'll just show you what one of the records looks like. Just the Metal Blade logo at the time. So yeah,
How many
definitely.
songs on that
So
double?
it's actually on two records. But it's got 13 songs on it. But I mean it's live, so some of them are extended.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
so they it's on two vinyl. And I got one more from 1990, and this one is let me see. This one's from Germany. Now I do not like this album very much at all. There's a couple songs that aren't bad. And I've been on the contrarian saying this is my least favorite album by this band, although obviously I wouldn't
Uh-oh.
be talking about the band if I didn't like them. But anyway, this is Yes and Union. Now,
I remember being so disappointed in this album when I
yeah,
bought it when it came out.
it's a whole lot of nothing, really.
It's a
The idea was
mess.
it is a mess. It was supposed to be a reunion of, like, you see all the names on there. So it's
Yeah.
John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Tony Kaye, Trevor Rabin, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, Alan White. I don't think all of the guys good album at all. But I found this vinyl fairly cheap. It's got great Roger Dean artwork, and like I
Yeah,
said,
the artwork's
I
amazing.
I like the band. So this was actually the follow-up to the Anderson Bruford Wakeman Howe album that came out in '89, which I consider a Yes album because those are all
Oh,
Yes
it is.
personnel. So this was actually the second album on the band's Arista contract, and it
Right.
ended up morphing into this Yes album. But anyway,
What was the single from this one? I actually enjoyed.
lift me up.
Yeah,
It's that's pretty good. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, that was far and away the best song of the whole batch, right? And there's like 14
exactly.
songs on it. It's another CD that's way too long.
It's very messy. It's a messy, messy album. Like
Yeah. Like
I don't know
everybody
what they were
talks
going.
about, they don't like Big Generator. I'll take Big Generator off this any day.
Absolutely
Yeah.
agreed.
Talk, the one that came after it, Talk is a better album than this. But
I could see what they were trying to do, but not really.
yeah, it was a better idea in concept than in execution. And the
Yeah,
tour, I would have liked to have seen the tour with all of
yeah, that
those
would have been
guys
something.
on stage. But that's all from 91 that I've got.
All right. Okay. Well, I do have a couple from '92. One of which I think you're absolutely going to know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe this little album.
I've only got the reissue, but yeah.
Adrenalized. So this is an original UK copy. It was not, to my knowledge, it was not issued on vinyl in Canada.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Canadian copy on vinyl. So this is one thing I love about Def Leppard from this era and Hysteria 2. I will tell you now, I didn't have the record at the time. I had the cassette and the CD, but I loved reading
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
Life at the Top. Yep.
liner notes.
Yeah.
Like there is so much detail in here. Same with Hysteria. And there's the picture
Yep.
of the Lou at Joe's studio.
Yep. Somewhere on there it
Um,
says Joe Elliott's got a smelly bottom.
it does. You're right. It does. It does. And
Yeah.
there's actually the really cool piece, and this is in their book too. But there's a chart here you can see a little bit of where they all wrote prospective LP titles, right, for this
Yes.
album.
Yeah.
And there's a whole list, and they'd write it down. And I would love to. I don't know if this is written on the wall or if this is an actual piece of art, but look at this. Someone has drawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to own that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously it existed at one time. That's not AI art in 1992. I mean,
Exactly. And the only Def Leppard album
as a
as
four
a
piece.
four
Yeah.
piece.
There's
Right?
something else, another interesting tidbit about that, because if you look in the credits of that, it says photography by Pamela Springsteen.
Yes,
Well, that's
you're
Bruce's
right.
sister. And
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, could be getting this mixed up. I don't, I know I'm right about her being Bruce Springsteen's sister.
Yep.
But I think that she once was dating or was involved with singer Joseph Williams. So I think the Toto song
Mm.
Pamela from the seventh one is about her.
Oh, right. That's a very good point. Never thought
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
There's the
Uh
label
yeah, this side, that side, whatever, it's all yeah.
with
I'm
the
kind of surprised this didn't come out in North America because I mean,
You're
They're
right.
still a
It should
big
have.
band at this point, right? I'm really maybe it just maybe it was a label thing. Maybe some labels stopped doing it sooner than others.
Yeah, because well, it would have been here. It would have been Polygram, right, on
Yeah,
Vertigo.
yeah, it would have been Mercury
Um,
instead of Vertigo.
yeah, and this is Mercury because this is a Mercury release from the UK, right? So and
Yeah,
US would have been Mercury as
yeah.
well.
Maybe they
So
stopped
yeah, I'm not
using
sure.
Vertigo at this point. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think so. I think it was. Yeah, they were off Vertigo at this point.
yeah.
Anyways, it's interesting. So that, and then tied right into that is the limited edition
Oh,
picture disc.
picture disc. Yeah, yeah,
So you can see this is UK release up there in the corner.
yeah.
Strictly limited edition. Mine is numbered. I don't know how many, can't recall how many were actually released. But on the back, look at this.
Oh, what? Done with
It's
mirrors.
backwards.
It's done with mirrors.
It's done with. I found that really odd
Yeah,
on the picture disc that they did that. But the picture disc, I love. It's the Adrenalize Eye,
that
and
is
then on the
cool.
back is a live shot of the In the Round
Oh,
Adrenalize tour,
yeah.
which I will tell you, this is the first time I saw them. I saw them in the round at Maple Leaf Gardens in the fall of 1992. No opener, an evening with Def Leppard, 2.5 hours, best concert I have ever seen.
Wow.
That in setup was amazing. So that's
I guess I
this was a
I
great
guess I
album.
forgot about that they did the an evening with concept because that was not really that common at that time.
No. And it was an obvious, I think, decision by them at that point to do that. Now they may have taken openers on other legs, but for that
Yeah,
part of
because
the
I think the
tour,
next year they had like Ugly Kid Joe opening for them for some
yeah,
shows, and yeah, yeah,
exactly. Still the best show I've ever seen. And my last one from 1992. I collect, so as you know, guys know, Def Leppard. I'm a Kiss collector as well, and I have endeavored to hunt down everything Kiss media related I can, which I still have a long way to go, obviously. But I was really happy to get a copy of Revenge.
Oh, wow. I've got the 2014 reissue of that.
Yeah, this is a Mercury UK phonogram
Yeah.
issue. This was the band, and I love the shot of the
Yeah.
mirror.
They looked so
They
cool. That was the
agreed.
best they looked without makeup,
I
without
agree. They
question.
went, and especially when the video for Unholy came
Yeah.
out, and I was like, wow, this is dark.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to Kiss from Crazy, Crazy Nights?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they brought back Bob Ezrin for this one, right?
Yeah.
Which I think made a big difference. And it was Kiss kind of going,
Yeah.
we're back, we're tough,
It's too
we're
bad that it only went gold and it didn't, it was just it's too
it's
bad this because I love this lineup too.
well, the lineup's great, and it's surprising too that it because when you look at the songs on here, like there's 12 songs, but Domino is one of
It's so good.
Gene's best.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it really is.
Unholy, God Save Rock and Roll to You Too. Like the album tracks, the Car Jam 1981 is a ton of fun.
I love it. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that I was really happy to find
Yeah.
because I'm pretty much complete on Kiss vinyl, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Great Hugh Syme artwork on that one. It's the only time he worked
Yep.
on a Kiss album, but it's that metallic logo and or the whole
It's
feel of it. It just looks good.
great cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's it from 92 for me. I got two
Okay.
left.
Okay, so I've got two albums from 92 and this first one I think is the only vinyl I have from Korea.
Mm.
So,
Wow, an original
yeah.
too.
Yeah, so from 92, Bon Jovi's Keep the Faith. My opinion, their last good album from start to finish.
Agreed.
I do like this
Agreed.
album. I saw them twice on this tour, my first two concerts. Um, and I found this a few years ago, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised because I was not expecting to see this. The record itself is in an older style Mercury. Um, Let me take it out of the sleeve. The sleeve's like it got a film on it, but so
Oh,
that's
yep,
more of a 70s looking Mercury
it
look.
is.
But again, it's Korea. Um, and let me see what's written on here. Well, not that I can. Oh no, it is in English, and it's another thing about how to take care of your records, which is pretty cool. And it came with this. Let's see, what is this exactly? Oh, okay. So it's just this fold out. Um,
Oh yeah,
and this is all in Korean. And then on the other side of it, of course, if you have the CD or the cassette, it's got the lyrics and the pictures that went along with it. So that was a
I
nice
like that.
surprise to find that used. And actually, around this time, I think it's pretty cool. There's footage you can see of when Def Leppard played in East Rutherford, New Jersey, on the Adrenalized tour. John and Richie hop up on stage with them, and
Yeah.
they do "Can't Get Enough" by Bad Company. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah. So the other one I have, this band we've talked about. This is I can assure you this is a totally legit version. This is not a photocopy. Extreme, three sides to every story. This is a UK version of this. I think this album did quite well for them over there.
Yeah, they were always pretty big in the
Yeah.
UK
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah. And it was a platinum album in Canada too. It's like it's interesting. And the so it's two records. It's not a gatefold, but it's just two individual records, and they use the early 80s A&M
Ah,
logo at
yes.
this point. So yeah, because there are a lot of songs on here. It's on two records. And also, for those that know this album really well, it's one of those rare examples where if you got the cassette as opposed to the CD, you got an extra song. There was a song called "Don't Leave Me Alone,"
Yep.
and that's on this record too because they've got the room for it. And this also comes with a
Very
big
cool.
poster. So you get a poster of the band, and here are all the lyrics and credits. So
See, I
yeah,
love that. I love when
yeah,
labels did that and gave you
yeah,
those extras, right?
yeah.
To kind of entice you to to buy it, really. I mean,
So I've
anything,
literally so what? Sorry.
yeah, anything that like that's what I love about some of these original Def Leppard pieces that I've got with different little things they added to the
Yeah,
package to make it
added value. Yeah,
added value.
yeah.
Exactly.
So
Collectible, right?
so that's all I've got from 92. I've literally got three more to talk about in total. So now
Okay.
we're getting
Well,
to the point where I'm very curious of what you're going to come up with.
you're I think you'll probably can guess what the next one is because of my extensive collection.
Oh, I think it's also Hugh Syme artwork. Yes, it is. Look at that.
You are correct.
That is Alice
Def
Cooper. Dada.
Leppard. Yep.
The mirror. That is. It might seem simple, but I love that. It's such a cool concept because it's like you look
Well,
at
yeah, look at it,
the
right?
individual
Yeah.
parts. It's like it doesn't look like a skull, but just blink and oh, it's totally a skull.
So
But what a
this is yeah, this is a this little hype sticker down here. This is a Spanish
okay.
copy.
Yeah.
So it's touting on here, the new Def Leppard kind of collection of everything that they'd had odds and sods and left
Yeah.
over. I love, 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 love this album.
Yeah,
This is
it's a great collection of stuff. When this first came, I listened to this all the time. Like
yeah,
it had
all
it. I mean, I knew a lot of the songs on it, but I didn't know all of them. Like I'd never heard Desert Song or Fractured Love or any of those. So
well, and I loved it too. There's the sleeve with the
yeah,
kind of little bit of information about each song, and then all of the kind of Def Leppard collection that was already out at that point.
yeah,
But what I really liked was this compiled because I loved what they did with the Hysteria singles with B sides and giving us
yeah,
unreleased songs. Right, this compiled them into one collection,
yeah.
and they had remixed and kind of re-engineered, and it's definitely I think one of their albums that I go back to the most,
Yeah.
in terms of the collection of songs, and I really like the label.
Oh,
So it's like
cool.
a
Yeah. I like the
purple and
logo
black.
in blue too.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
great. And that's the only one from 93.
Okay. I've got one from 93 and this is by far the one I've had the longest. So I bought this. This album came out, I want to say April or May of 93. And I think I bought this vinyl in September. I sent away for it from some mail order place in the UK. And honestly, it was more just the novelty of having a current album on vinyl because it was just
Yeah.
unheard of. and
Yeah,
it was a huge
exactly.
album. So Aerosmith, Get a Grip.
Oh
So
man, yeah.
I have had this since 1993. So it was just
Okay, that's
it
awesome.
was weird to have an album that was in the charts on vinyl.
Yeah,
So this is and this is interesting too because in in Europe, uh, Geffen was distributed by BMG and not MCA. Um, so this also has an extra song on it. Now, if anybody got the Living on the Edge CD single, it had two songs on it that weren't on the album. It was Don't Stop and Can't Stop Messin'. Can't Stop Messin' is the third to last song on this album. So this is on two vinyl because it's a long album.
yeah, that's a long album.
Yeah. And it's a little, if you notice, it's a little bit thicker. So you can kind of read the title really well, right?
Yeah,
And but it's not gatefold, so it just came in two separate sleeves, but the sleeves are completely different. So a lot of this, if you've got the singles or the CD, you know, it's recognizable visuals, you know, the weird that
yeah,
was that a color version of this was the Living on the Edge
that's right.
CD single, and the record itself was just you know, your typical Geffen, you know, familiar looking Geffen label that they had been using, and the other sleeve looked like this. Um, and then this on the other side, and the record just looks the same. So that's the only one I have from '93.
Cool. I didn't even realize that that was out in Canada on
Yeah.
vinyl at that point.
Oh no, it's from
All
the
right.
UK. It's from
Oh,
the
that's the UK
UK.
one. Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we definitely didn't get it here.
No, no.
One from 1996, and I think it's a. This actually, I believe, from everything I can see, it's a US copy. I'm pretty sure. So it's Kiss,
Oh yeah. And that
MTV Unplugged.
I think I think that that front cover photo is bigger than the 2014 reissue.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a smaller.
Now I'll tell you a
Yeah, right?
U.S. Something I regret not buying when it was out. Also came out in 1996, and that is the "You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best" that live compilation because
Yeah,
that is ridiculously expensive now.
I've got the CD
Yeah.
of
So,
that one.
but the vinyl version of that also had a live version of New York Groove from 1980 with
Oh,
Eric
yeah,
from Sydney, I think, with Eric Carr on drums. Yeah, and I love the Unplugged album too. Like to me,
it's
the
great.
Unplugged is the final word. It's like you might not like Kiss, but you can't say they can't play.
Oh, it was, and I remember watching it when Much Music aired it when
Yeah,
they got allowed to show it on in Canada, and I was like, this is fantastic. And
yeah,
even the label's pretty cool. It's got the
yeah. I've never seen that before, and
Kiss Unplugged.
it's a great track listing too. They really worked hard on choosing just the right songs.
Yeah, they covered everything they needed to cover in terms of the tracks. Yeah, you know what this is a USA
Yeah,
Mercury edition from '96. It
yeah.
I will say it cost me a pretty penny, but
Yeah.
um,
The now correct me if I'm wrong, but is it Got to Choose that wasn't on the cassette or CD but is on the vinyl?
yeah, Got to Choose is
Yeah.
on the vinyl. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's last song on side two of the second record,
Yeah.
and it's similar to your Get a Grip. It's the wider
It's just a wider, yeah. Yeah.
because it's not a gatefold with two
Yeah.
records. But yeah, it's a great album. I love the poster.
Yeah.
It's just cool,
Yeah.
super
I
cool.
love the pit. I've always loved the picture of all six of them. Like
Yeah, because
I don't think I've seen Gene Simmons look any happier.
you might be right.
You know what I mean? Like he just looks like
Yeah,
this is how, you know, but
this is how it should be.
yeah. Now, I've actually I should have said I've got one from 94 and 95, but that's okay because we'll just we'll rewind a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get
Um
back because I just found one I forgot I had.
okay. Well, no, go ahead, show it off. And then I'll
So this is I was sitting underneath another one. It's from 1990, so we're going back to the beginning.
okay. Yep.
Um,
Oh
Sleaze Beats,
yeah.
Screwed, Blued,
Glued
and
and
Tattooed.
yeah.
This is a killer album that these guys did a couple albums and they just got lost in The
This
shuffle.
album we featured on our Red and White Atlantic cassettes episode too.
We did. You're right, because look,
Yep.
red and white labels.
Yep.
Stranger Than Paradise is one of the most underrated gems of the 90s glam hair metal era,
Yep.
in my opinion. There we go. So back to 1990 quickly.
Okay, so we're going to skip ahead to 94. And again, this was a period where it was so rare to see a new album come out on vinyl. And I talked about this album recently when Dan and I did one on our favorite tribute albums. This was everywhere for a short time. Even though I bought it in Canada, the copies that were for sale all had the U.S. Flag on it. The cassette and CD, I made sure I bought the Canadian one. But yeah,
I
now
need to find that. I need to
yeah,
find that on.
this it's got a lot of the similar stuff that was in the CD. And as I've said many times, I was a little bit, I was expecting more from this because Gene hyped it up, all these people that were going to be on it and they weren't.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is that other than, being a then current album on vinyl, it's red vinyl. So there you got
Oh,
the
nice.
Paul makeup, the Gene
Yeah.
makeup, but it's also got a song that's not on the North American CD or cassette, and a really heavy, well, it's a heavy song to begin with, but it's a German band called Die Artsy doing a German language version of Unholy. So it's the
Oh,
very last song on side
oh
two.
my.
Unheilig. It's except in the middle of it where they go into I Was Made for Loving You, which works better than you might think. So
Okay.
that's the only one I've got from 94 for an original. The last one I've got to show you is actually one of the most expensive records in my collection, according to Discogs.
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
that. I bought this at Sam the Record Man in Fredericton when this album first came out. So it's got an import sticker from Warner Music of Canada, but it's from the U.S.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So this album now there's a 30th anniversary edition of this is the original 95
Wow.
sealed copy of Van Halen's Balance. And
Deal.
yeah,
Wow.
I already had the CD, but when I saw that I'm like I got to get this on a
Oh,
1995 album on vinyl. Are you kidding me? So yeah, and because I've never opened it, it goes for big bucks now. Not that I have no plans on selling it, but I'm just saying it's one of the more it just happens to be one that's pricey. Actually, a different
well,
kind of the original version of A Different Kind of Truth on vinyl goes for a lot too.
yeah, well, it's interesting because again, like we said, a big band, but in 1995, vinyl was not a thing in the US
Yeah,
and Canada anymore. For them to release that
yeah,
in the US as of like just goes to show you again the power of a band like Van Halen, right?
yeah,
But that is a very expensive
yeah.
record to buy these days.
And I think,
Wow.
honest
That's
to
nice.
God, I think I paid 14.99 for it. Like
Whoa, man.
it was priced like a CD or a cassette would have been priced. Um,
Wow.
But I also remember, like you held up the Kiss Unplugged. I mentioned that you wanted the best, you got the best. Those both I remember seeing on vinyl. Really wish I'd have bought. Well, I really wish I'd have bought them both, but at least the Unplugged got a reissue. But I do remember another one that came out on vinyl was Metallica's Load. Now I've got the
Oh, yeah.
blackened reissue of that, but this would have been an Elektra version. But yeah, so there were a few, but like used to big bands, right? But I remember there was a copy of Kiss Unplugged at one of the record stores, and it had been there, and I think somehow it got opened, and it was doing that thing where some records do, where it kind of goes like this, and so it kind of looked all. And I wish now that I'd picked it up, taken it to the counter, and be like, what would you sell this to me for?
Yeah, exactly.
So, so anyway,
Fair
yeah,
deal.
there it is,
There we go.
original 90s vinyl. Um, I knew that Chris would come through with some really cool selections. So, yeah, I mean, obviously there's lots of great 90s albums that I have in reissued form.
Yeah.
These are the original ones. Curious what people have out there.
Yeah,
Chris,
let's see it.
thanks for doing this. This is always fun. And we'll have to do it again we'll have to find a topic, and that's usually not a hard thing. But
Not a
anyway,
hard thing to do with.
we will see you all
Exactly.
later. Thanks for watching
Thanks
Tim's
all.
Vinyl Confessions.